Hey, if you look up Jem's art studio, they have this beautiful Ukrainian sunflower. It's absolutely worth checking out. All the profits are going to go to help Ukrainian charity, so please check it out. It'll be great. All the links will be below in the description and probably here in the picture. But yeah, go help them out. Ukrainians are going through hell right now.
This Organized Chaos video is brought to you by Jem's Art Studio. Jem's Art Studio is an online store that allows access to prints that you can use for most anything, obviously as just a picture, or as a wallpaper, or as a bookmark, or anything you can think of. You can find Jem's Art Studio at etsy.com/shop/Jem's Art Studio. This video is also brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you.
Hello again. Yeah, so I posted the premiere for the John Campea video, and I'm noticing a lot of hate, so I think it's time to address some stuff. Let's go ahead and dig up some comments here. From Elijah Hubbard, why are you starting drama with other YouTubers? I'm confused as to what this is supposed to accomplish. And I assume it's related. Ahmed Fiaz Azed, bro, what happened to you? Now, I'm doing these reaction videos because, honestly, they're fun and they're easy. And I'm hoping I can get the channel up to a level that'll allow me to do essays more. Because that's where my passion still is. I want to do essays. I want to do more of the verses. I want to do that. But here's the deal. Those things are massively time consuming. One of these reaction videos I can do in 2 to 3 hours. One of those essays takes 20 to 40 hours, at least. Sometimes longer. That Zack Snyder's Justice League versus the Avengers, I don't want to tell you the number of man hours I put into that one. It was insane. So the unfortunate fact is, return on investment, the reaction videos are way more worth it for me than those long essays. But they're not as rewarding for me. So I don't want to give up on those essays. But I do want to build this YouTube channel. And what I'm finding with reaction videos is because I'm able to release stuff more regularly, I'm building a community of people. I really like the people in the community. You know, talking with people during premieres, I think it's great. I really enjoy it. And it's something I want to continue. It's not something I can maintain if I only do essays. So reaction content it is. And I want to stress, yes, I'm primarily going to be focusing on cringe videos, but not all of them. Some of them will be videos that are fine. If I keep on doing this, I'm going to cover plenty of channels that I like or respect, and maybe just bad videos by them. I usually go in cold. I don't want to see the video beforehand. But, you know, if I know a channel is weak in an area that I happen to be strong in, maybe I'll just do my critique on that. As I tried to stress before I watched the John Campea video, I have no issue with John Campea whatsoever. He just likes Man of Steel more than I do. And something I didn't really say in that video, and I probably should have, is how I find it kind of cool how much he likes Man of Steel. Like, I disagree with him on how good it is. Like I said, I like Man of Steel. It's not nearly as good as he says, in my opinion. But a lot of this is subjective. Sometimes when you come across movie critiques, sometimes people make objective errors and sometimes people make subjective errors. 90 to 95% of the time when people disagree with you, that's a subjective error when it comes to movie critiques. Objective errors, or this is where they get stuff completely wrong. And I've stumbled into objective errors too. It happens. But I'm not doing this to start drama. That being said, this isn't a drama channel per se, but there's always been drama here. I just want to dig up a comment on my Captain America Civil War versus Batman v Superman essay. This is from C. Van's Creations. I came here to write a long-ass comment trying to explain why you are wrong to say you don't like Captain America because his character doesn't evolve, and then decide it's not really the reasonable comment to leave here. So instead, I wanted to say, you're one arrogant prick. I'm all game for having favorites because we all have our biases, but I can't help but call you out on not having the guts to admit your dislike is personal and has nothing to do with what's wrong with Captain America. Your logic of Tony being a better character simply because he realizes what he has done after the fact and changed himself compared to Steve, who has always tried to do the right thing and stuck the basic characteristics of himself throughout, hence is not a great character, as Tony is beyond flawed. You don't have to be a man-child for the better half of a movie, then try to be reasonable for the second half to be a great character. So kindly refrain being childish when you're doing videos like this one. Instead, just say you don't like Captain America simply because you don't like him. Thank you. This was from 11 hours ago. This is Thursday night. So, middle of the day Thursday, he left that. And it's interesting because I get comments like this on even my essays. People get emotionally invested in movies and in critiques. I bet you Steve Ian's creations there had nothing to do with the creation of Captain America Civil War, but man, he's emotionally invested. And I also understand creators might get emotionally invested with me critiquing their critiques or their videos. And most creators I have absolutely no problem with. There are creators that I feel are mainly grifters, and you will notice that on the reactions when I really just show no respect to them. But like someone like John Campea or Vosh, I think they're solid creators, and I largely either like or appreciate their stuff. I have no problems with them. But I will look over their content, and I'm not against looking over their content and critiquing it. And it might even be a video I end up liking. Part of my issue with reaction channels in general, it's something I'm really going to try to avoid, is I don't want to just sit down and watch the video. I'm going to give you guys my thoughts. In fact, there'll be times where I'm just watching it, and I might just pause it because I feel like I've watched it for too long, and I'm going to give you guys an update as to where my mind's at. The idea is I don't want to just be like riding off their content. I want to give you my personal thoughts on the content. That's the entire point. And the fact is, drama is sadly always going to exist here on YouTube. When you reach a certain level of popularity, people are going to get upset. Whether it be in the comments or in YouTube videos, they're going to get upset. It's unavoidable. And like I said, there's going to be some people that I review a video for where I genuinely don't care if they get upset. John Campea definitely doesn't fall into that camp. I would hope John Campea could watch that reaction and appreciate it. Even though we have different opinions, I hoped he could appreciate it. I do dunk on the video a little bit, but I don't mean ill will. And that's mainly what I want to say. And if you're wondering why I'm really dedicated to just keeping on doing the reactions, other than the fact that I just like it, here are some YouTube stats. I know I'm losing subscribers fast, but I'm getting drastically better view numbers. I'm getting way more attention to the channel right now. The more attention I can get to the channel, the bigger I can get the channel, which will allow me to work on other projects with the channel. You know, it's all a big old puzzle, and you just gotta figure out the best way to get the pieces put together to make the content you want to make, or at least as closely as possible to what you want to make. And that's really all I wanted to say. A lot of people seemed offended by that John Campea video. And honestly, I personally hope that's a video John Campea himself can watch and enjoy. So, with that out of the way, a channel highlight. A channel I want to give a shout out to. My 2 cents of nonsense. Lindsay Pankhurst. One of my oldest YouTube friends, possibly my oldest YouTube friend. And yeah, if you're on YouTube for a while, you actually get YouTube friends. You get people that you pretty much know exclusively through YouTube. It's kind of cool. But yes, he's one of my oldest YouTube friends. He beat me to a milestone. He beat me to a video with over 1 million views. So yeah, he's always going to hold that over my head. But yeah, he has fun stuff. He just recently did like this, it's only like 30-second long, but this little like Obi-Wan Kenobi fan reaction to the trailer that is funny. You gotta go check out My 2 Cents of Nonsense. He is awesome. Go subscribe. Now, for the comment highlight, I'm gonna go to OC Kid because I feel this comment will segue into the video nicely. I watched The Drinker until I noticed that every review talked about woke or some variant. I hear someone say woke and I quit. It obviously signals a mindset that I refuse to accommodate. And that's going to segue into this next video nicely. It's not The Drinker again. We've done The Drinker too much, but we are doing a returning video. It's going to be about some woke stuff, unfortunately. Alright, so today we're not covering Ben Shapiro's review. We'll get to more Ben Shapiro at some point, but we are going to the Daily Wire. Spider-Man No Way Home is destroying box office records. Here's why. The thumbnail itself. Not broke. Not woke, not broke. 1.7 billion. On the Daily Wire Eternals review, they talk about how that movie's woke. And I know of at least 2 examples in Spider-Man No Way Home where it is equally as woke, except with more popular characters. But yet somehow this movie is an example of not being woke. So I want to see what their opinion is. How does that work? Where is the logic here? And as for the points I'm getting to, I want to see if the video brings them up. Otherwise, I'll bring them up at the end.
Spider-Man No Way Home is setting records at the box office, while other superhero movies have been struggling. So what's different about...
Oh, good. Megan Basham again. She's so good. Okay, talk about people I really don't respect. Honestly, that Daily Wire.
This film from the others. We take a no spoilers look at the smashing success of Spider-Man No Way Home. Before Spider-Man No Way Home, there was little doubt that Marvel's franchise was struggling in its post-Avengers phase. Inside the US, some films from the last 2 years, like Black Widow.
We could also call this the post-pandemic phase. Let's keep that in mind. It's not the post-Avengers phase. Far From Home did perfectly fine. This is the post-pandemic phase.
And Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings made headlines for topping the box office or breaking records. But those reports came with a pretty big asterisk. They were breaking pandemic records, meaning the films were at the top of the box office.
Yeah. Does that not count? Does that not count? I'm confused.
Only compared to the last 2 years' worth of films. And since there weren't many huge accomplishments during that time, it's not much to write home about. Stacked up against all-time records, these films barely register any significance on the earnings radar.
Oh my god, it's almost like the pandemic had an effect on society. Did you guys know that's a pandemic? I totally didn't notice it.
Then, Eternals came out and was widely promoted as the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe's Phase 4. That's the stage of the franchise after the original Avengers lineup. The stars of Eternals, like Salma Hayek and Gemma Chan, made interview rounds praising it for having the most inclusive, diverse cast ever.
It breaks all the rules because it has a completely diverse cast.
The movie also offered the increased LGBT representation that Marvel head Kevin Feige had been long promising with the franchise's first gay superhero, Phastos. He shared a lengthy kiss with a same-sex partner.
Lengthy? Lengthy? What about the sex scene? That was a heterosexual sex scene. A lot more heterosexual propaganda than homosexual propaganda in that movie. I think that movie might have a heterosexual agenda. What's up with that?
Overtly marketed as evidence of the MCU's progressive evolution, Feige told Variety that it was past time for Marvel to feature more LGBT characters, and Phastos was just the start. The result? Eternals was one of only 2 bona fide flops in the studio's history, the other being Ed Norton's 2008 version of the Hulk. Fans had even started to sour on the Disney Plus streaming series, as Feige led the charge in championing Loki's supposed gender fluidity and Falcon's retconned feelings of BLM-style hostility toward the country.
Retcon? That was part of his arc in the series. How's that? It's not a retcon if it's written in.
He once served, audiences reportedly began tuning out. The latest release, Hawkeye, attained the dubious honor of lowest-ranking MCU to debut on the platform.
Yeah, Hawkeye was almost like a stealth release, I swear to God. Like, it came out, and I didn't even know it was out for like a week. I saw people start posting about it online. I was like, holy shit, that's out? I didn't know that was out. But it was actually pretty good. I really like Hawkeye.
As studios are wont to do, Marvel and its parent company Disney blamed fans' cooling interest on anything and everything, except for their decision to push woke agendas in their products. It was the...
Okay. What? Is the woke agenda in Hawkeye just because there's a girl who's kind of Hawkeye-ish? Is the woke agenda in Shang-Chi just because he's Asian? I mean... Jesus. Okay. Well, we haven't even gotten to No Way Home, and she is so stuck up on the woke agenda. Jesus Christ. Can you review a fucking movie without saying the word woke? I bet you she can.
The result of new releasing models, they claimed, or bad timing, or superhero exhaustion. But
yeah, and these actually aren't terrible reasons, but also a pandemic.
Mostly, they and the media insisted it was simply the new reality of COVID. No movie could expect to put up pre-pandemic numbers. Then came Spider-Man: No Way Home. In its opening weekend...
Yes, and it was released during a point where COVID was actually subsiding a bit. There'd be another spike after this, Omicron. But it was like subsiding before that Omicron surge. People were starting to feel safe. And let's face it, the hype behind No Way Home was huge.
Spider-Man: No Way Home didn't just break pre-pandemic records, it decimated them, scoring the second highest domestic opening of all time.
It decimated them with number 2. What's wrong with that sentence?
Just behind 2019's Avengers Endgame. In just 3 days, it brought in more money than any other COVID-era film has in its entire theatrical run. Globally, No Way Home's...
That is not a high bar, like, at all. Every movie's underperformed. Like, No Way Home's like this anomalous movie. There's just so much hype behind it that performed amazingly well. When Marvel's saying, like, these things are affecting its movie's box office, it's affecting, like, all movies' box offices across the board. If you look at the numbers... Logic says that No Way Home is the anomaly, not the other movies.
Performance has been arguably even more impressive, with the third highest debut in history, behind the last 2 Avengers movies. And what's even more impressive is that it did all of this without China, the world's largest film market. In contrast, both of those Avengers releases had the advantage of a huge number of Chinese dollars in their totals. So clearly, the idea that post-COVID Marvel can't compete due to virus-averse audiences is a myth. The question is...
Except it's an anomaly. It's the only movie that's managed to do this so far. It's an outlier. It's just managed to pull it off. I think there's enough hype behind it and all the stuff happening behind it that it pulled it off. Because no other movies come close since the pandemic. None of them.
Why has Spidey succeeded where all the other recent cinematic superheroes have failed?
Oh, let me guess. Because it's not woke, even though it actually is.
We'll get back to our video in a moment. But first, I want to tell you about...
Oh, commercial! Oh my god, this is only a 9-minute video, and we got, what, a minute of commercial? 2 minutes of commercial? 2 minutes? No, just over a minute. Okay, just over a minute of commercial. Oh my god.
Extra $50 today.
No doubt, the movie boasts a number of streams of appeal, including the social media popularity of stars Tom Holland and Zendaya, as well as a genuinely...
And who does Zendaya play? Let's wonder about this, because this is something that is firmly established exclusively in No Way Home. It's implied in the other ones, but it is established who she is playing in No Way Home. Who is she playing? I bet you're not going to want to answer that one.
Inventive, fan-servicing plotline. But there's one factor you can't overlook, yet probably won't hear much about in mainstream box office analysis. That is, if you don't go woke, you not only don't go broke, you stand to rake in piles and piles of cash. Here are all the ways.
So, all movies are underperforming in the box office, except for No Way Home. So her analysis is that every single goddamn movie that has been released post-pandemic has been too woke to get money. Every single goddamn one. Everyone. Okay, yeah, I want to look up something. Because Daily Wire actually produced a movie, and you cannot tell me that was woke. It's a Daily Wire movie. There is no way that movie is woke. Oh, what's the name of it? Daily Wire movies. Let's look them in. Shut In. It's called Shut In, but it's not on here. Why is there no box office mojo? Did you not even release to theaters? So one of the actors in this, Vincent Gala, spent his 9-year break from acting selling $666 t-shirts with slogans like "Fuck Black Lives Matter." Wow, what a gem he is. Okay, so Run, Hide, Fight. This is a Daily Wire movie. Ooh, this is on here. Okay. Run, Hide, Fight. A Daily Wire movie. So it's guaranteed not woke. Only made $10,000 at the box office? But it's not woke. It has to break all records. What the heck? I'm confused here. Using her logic, this is the Avatar level release. How did it only make $10,000? It's almost like these things aren't fucking related.
Ways No Way Home bucked the woke MCU trend. Read their chat boards and you'll learn just how weary faithful Marvel fans have grown in the last few years of race and gender and sexuality swapping with major characters for no better reason than so Marvel and Disney executives...
Are we going to ignore the fact that No Way Home has done this? Are we going to ignore this? It's not good to your narrative, is it? I want to see if she brings it up. I can think of 2 characters instantly that fit into that category in this movie.
Can brag that they've done it. When significant changes are made with an integral story to explain them, as in the case of Miles Morales' version of Spider-Man and Sam Wilson's turn as Captain America, audiences seem to have no problem with it.
Wait, what's the difference? What's the fucking difference? You need a story change to explain why a character is in a role? Well, when you're readapting it, you can just readapt it how you want. I mean, you want to follow, like, some key characteristics of the character, but... and she hasn't even gotten...
But do it purely for the virtue signaling, as in the case of the female Ajax in Eternals and the queer Loki, and it grates. No Way Home avoids this problem on every front. If you grew up...
It does? It does? Oh boy, I want to hear this.
As a Spider-Man fan, it takes great care to protect and celebrate the hero you knew as a child. He doesn't suddenly develop confusing feelings for his friend Ned. or discover some new commitment to battling climate change. He's the same Peter Parker we've always loved in a new story. In 2015, Stan Lee said of his creation, "I wouldn't mind if Peter Parker had originally been black, a Latino, an Indian, or anything else. But we originally made him white, and I don't see any reason to change that. It has nothing to do with being anti-gay or anti-black or anti-Latino or anything like that. Latino characters should stay Latino. The Black Panther should certainly not be Swiss." While moviegoers, with exceptions granted for creative storytelling, seem to agree with Stan Lee. That said, No Way Home does in fact have a significantly diverse cast. Love interest MJ is half black. Peter's best friend Ned is Filipino. His high school rival is Guatemalan.
Oh, yeah, I didn't think about Flash. Yeah, that's another one. You're bringing this up, but these are characters much more popular than Eternals. Spider-Man's supporting cast is some of the most popular supporting cast in all of comic book history. Way more popular than anybody in the Eternals. And you're not going to bring up how they've been swapped?
All of which makes perfect sense, given that Peter lives in Queens. The adult cast displays a...
Oh my god, you're just going to say it makes perfect sense, ignoring the fact they're changed from the comic book, which is your whole fucking argument.
Similarly varied background for similarly sensible reasons. Yet the film never makes an issue of this fact. Neither did any of the principal actors or...
When does Eternals make an issue of the fact they're race? When is that even brought up in Eternals? It's not. God, how is she a film critic? I guess Daily Wire doesn't care, but Jesus Christ, this is some awful... She hasn't even gone to story points. She's just talking about the movie's good because it's not woke. Holy shit. Want to talk about the story at all? Want to talk about your thoughts? How are the performances? How were the effects? How was the lighting? How was the shot composition? How was the set design? No, we just want to talk about how it's not woke, even though it is.
For filmmakers on the promotion circuit. No one ever suggested, as the Eternals did, that it would be a huge leap forward for fans to accept MJ and Peter as an interracial couple. They trusted the audience would only care about the charisma and chemistry between the characters.
Oh my god, she is dancing around it.
Spidey isn't...
I'm calling it. She is dancing around. She knows she's full of shit. She knows these characters have been race swapped. And she just doesn't want to call it out. It's the exact same thing they did in Eternals. These characters have been readapted. And all of a sudden it's bad when Eternals does it. But Spider-Man No Way Home does it. Fine, fuck it.
Suddenly a social justice warrior doesn't mean his latest outing doesn't contain engaging socio-political themes. The best Marvel movies have always incorporated real philosophical questions about the way nations and powers conduct themselves. Think how Guardians of the Galaxy explores a tolerant, pluralistic society that combats religious fanaticism, or how Captain America: Civil War questions the necessity of government oversight. The problem is when the MCU starts abandoning complex issues for cheap left-wing counterfeits, like Captain Marvel's girl power and Eternals representation. No way.
Okay. Captain Marvel it's weird. The more you watch Captain Marvel, you can really see what they're going for. It's a great picture of her, by the way. You can really see what they're going for. But they don't quite get it, and it comes off kind of dry. Eternals has other issues, but it has nothing to do with race or gender swapping or anything like that at all. All that works out fine. Largely, the cast is pretty goddamn solid in that movie. And I can't think of a single moment where it's like, oh, you're a woman. Oh, you're deaf. No, these are just facts. Oh, you're gay. No, these are just things that are introduced, and they aren't story points. They just are who the characters are. Naturally, they don't need to explain them. We don't need an origin story as to why Thanos is gay. We don't need that. He just is, and that's fine.
Way Home goes back to deep, intelligent issues. Namely, what kind of nation are we if we no longer allow individuals the possibility of redemption? As young viewers watch opportunities dry up for this beloved character and his high school pals as a result...
Oh my god, we have like a minute left and she's finally going to start talking about like some themes or something. Oh my God, Jesus.
Result of media assassination and the insane fury of mobs who don't know them, they get an inkling of just how evil cancel culture is. As part of his effort to combat this illiberal and destructive ideology, Spidey finds himself in a showdown on top of an iconic American symbol.
Yeah, Spider-Man isn't about like dumb issues. Spider-Man's about cancel culture. Oh, God.
The message from screenwriters Chris McKenna and Erik Sommers, who, incidentally, got their start writing on the equally politically incorrect sitcom Community, is that the principles the United States was founded on are good, and they're worth fighting for, and they're intended to protect the happiness of the next.
Where'd she get that from Spider-Man No Way Home? That seems like a leap. Oh... She doesn't have enough time to cite any of this stuff. We have 8 seconds left in this review, and she's barely skimmed anything.
Next generation. These days, it doesn't get more unwoke than that.
All right, so, I think you guys know what's coming, because I'm going to have to address this now. There's no avoiding this one. So let me go ahead and dig up some images here. All right, we're all ready. So let's go ahead and disprove her entire argument. Because Eternals? Yeah, Eternals did lots of race swapping, sex swapping, stuff like that. Made a character deaf. But let's look at Ned Leeds. Here's Ned Leeds in the movie. Lovable Ned. Everybody loves Ned. Want to see his comic book version? Check this out. Whoa! Whoa! How dare they? This movie is so goddamn woke. That is disgusting. We're not done. Look, here's movie Flash Thompson. Sure, Flash Thompson's a dick. He's a bully. What about comic book Flash Thompson? Whoa! Whoa, this movie is seriously woke. This is some woke, fucked up shit. And here's the big one. Now, MJ is important because they flirted with the idea that maybe, just maybe, she is Mary Jane. But you know what? None of the movies really committed to that. They're like, no, it's Michelle Jones. It's Michelle Jones. No Way Home specifically establishes her last name is Watson. She is MJ Watson. Now, who is MJ Watson in the comic book? Whoa! So here's the problem with her whole fucking argument. I can now argue that this movie made money because it was fucking woke as fuck. It changed some of the biggest comic book supporting cast players in existence. This is entirely too woke. Clearly, if you want to make money, you need to go more woke, not less woke. Eternals' problem wasn't that it went too woke. It went too little woke. Everybody should have been gay and black in that movie if they wanted to make money. I think Spider-Man No Way Home just proved it. It just broke all the box office records. Obviously, you need to be more woke. See, that's the problem. Her whole argument is dumb. It's based on no logic. And somehow she's a movie reviewer that doesn't even fucking review movies. She just reviews wokeness quotes or something like that. And she doesn't even do it accurately. She's awful. So yeah, I didn't even know that'd be a Megan Basham review. I just saw it was Daily Wire. I probably shouldn't have assumed that. She might be their on-staff film critic besides Ben Shapiro. But God, she is atrociously bad. Obviously, she's just like, oh, it made $1.7 billion. I can say it's not woke. But the problem is it is woke. It's just as woke as Eternals, except with way more popular characters. Jesus. There's lots of bad movie critiques on here. There's lots of bad movie critiques on YouTube. It's kind of amazing.
They think order and chaos are somehow opposites and try to control what won't be.
I used to fuck guys like you in prison.